Morning, everyone. It's Joe Waxman, and I'm back with another video. This morning, I want to look at the chart of pop star Britney Spears. As you probably know, she was in the news this past year with the Free Britney movement regarding her conservatorship with her father, which is, it gained a lot of attention, and I definitely sympathized with Britney, as a lot of people did. I'm going to share my screen. Because it just seems quite insane, actually, that her father is, controlling her career and her, even her freedom. And she's an adult. She's a little younger than me, but I think it's just kind of slavery, really, and there's no reason for it. Who's to say that she's not capable of taking care of herself? And I heard her on some interviews, and basically they were forcing her to take medication, and that's horrible. That's really evil, if you ask me. Like, nobody should be forced to take medications against their will. I have personal experience with this, not myself, but with two friends who were court ordered to take pharmaceutical medication, and that stuff's just poison. A lot of it is outright destructive and has really no benefits at all. And I could do a whole big spiel about it, but that's not what this is about. Just to say that I have no faith in pharmaceutical medicine. I think it's largely 99% of it is to destroy the mind and keep the person dependent upon their pills to make money. It's highly destructive. And so this whole thing with Britney's father controlling her and forcing her, that's atrocious. It's abominable to me. It's like, oh my God. So for that reason, I support Britney. I never liked her music per se. And she's basically just, I was there right in the beginning. I was into MTV. I was young. I was watching Britney Spears when she first took the stage. And so I've from a side view, I've seen the whole thing. I was watched everyone. A lot of people did. When she shaved her head, who cares? Good for her. Whatever. Anyway, not my kind of music. I never really liked pop music. It's just too superficial for me. Like, I'm just not that. Anyway, whatever. Let's go into our chart. So she's a Sagittarius sun, and Sag suns are they're great. Sagittarius is very wild, fiery, passionate, free. It's sort of like a celebration after after Scorpio. Esoterically, it has to do with overcoming all the challenges that we find in Scorpio, and it's a coming to God in Sagittarius. That's why Sagittarius deals with God, deals with philosophy, religion, higher mindedness. Sag love to travel and party and all that. It's just very big, free, positive energy. There's something very positive about Sagittarius in general. Obviously not all the time for anyone in particular, but generally I love Sagittarius. It's just wild and free, right? And passionate. It's a fire sign, of course, right? And so one of the things we notice is that there's basically a third house stellium. We got the mean Lilith and the true Lilith, and mean Lilith is really mean, and true Lilith is very true. But no, I'm just kidding, obviously. But it's interesting just because they're so wide. So I like to look, especially with somebody like Britney Spears, I want to look at the Lilith because of her. She's a sex symbol. She really, it is one of the things with modern pop music, especially, I'm not a fan of. I don't think they need to really make everything hypersexual, but that's the trend these days. I'm not a fan, but it is what it is. but it's there, very prominent. I mean, the mean Lilith is conjunct her sun within 3 degrees, then it goes all the way to the true Lilith is at 23 degrees, conjunct Neptune of all planets. Neptune is the planet of glamour, right? And fantasy. Neptune being the co-ruler of Pisces, which rules the feet. So we're talking about dance, especially in the 3rd house with the hands and the feet, right? You know, fantasy, creativity. I mean, for other people, it might be like spirituality, but here it's just like the glamour, especially with Lilith, right? And she was like, she had this kind of aura, right? I mean, she didn't become famous for nothing. You know, she hit the stage and she was a star. So that's largely the sun and Lilith and Neptune and Sag. Her sun's also conjunct Mercury and then Uranus. So let's see, Mercury is ruling the 12th house and the 9th house, but the 12th house especially for the creativity, and the 3rd house and the dancing as well, right? 12th house being Pisces' original house, so that rules the feet. So, you know, for dancing, for creativity, for the arts, that's really good. And then Uranus is that dynamic planet that's just, pow, it's always surprising. It's always going to be something new and something completely out of the box and something you'd never expected. And everyone will, you know, be fascinated by Uranus. Not, you know, it could be good or bad depending on other factors, but fascinating nonetheless. It's shocking, and we like shocking. We like, because it's brilliant. It's like, it's entertaining. It gives us something to be like. It's the wow factor. Uranus is very much a wow factor, because it's just going to surprise you every single time. It's that bolt of lightning. It's shocking, right? So hands and feet, dancing, wild, shocking, you know, it's that stage presence. She's got the glamour, the Lilith, the sex, you know, the it's just the whole package right here. This is a large part of why she could do what she did. This 3rd house rules skills of the hands and communication, the ability to express. It's ruled by Jupiter. Well, let's go to her moon first. Her moon's in Aquarius in the 5th house, and 5th house is the house of you know, drama, performance, fun and games, creativity, being on stage, children, but all the other things, you know, like it's one of the fame-giving houses. It's in Aquarius, and it's trying, sextile the sun, so that's quite good, and sextile Mercury, which is also quite good. It's ruling the 10th house, 10th and the 5th. That's good. Yeah, so this is just generally positive aspect. It's not, this alone is not going to make or break or chart, or in this case make it, because it's overall positive. But yeah, it's a nice addition. Aquarius, see, it's ruled by Saturn. Saturn's exalted, so it's got the dispositor is good. It's got the sextile to these, you know, to the stellium in the 3rd house. Uranus is also the co-ruler. That's a wide sextile, but I think it's probably still influential. Anyway, yeah. And then the ascendant in Libra, and Libra is good, especially for something like pop, because it's not going to, you know, it's going to ride that middle road. It's going to be very social, very easygoing, very, you know, it's very likable by pretty much everyone. Not special or unique. That's one of the things with Libra. It's just Libra wants to be liked. Libra wants to be social. Libra wants that peace and balance, and just to, you know, be the middle, ride the middle road. And it can do that very well. And, you know, it's very easygoing. And we also have an exalted Saturn conjunct Pluto here, which is really interesting. And I think this is one of the fame-giving combinations with Britney. Number one, Libra is like that Libra has a quality, and don't take this the wrong way, but it's almost like filling. It's almost like stuffing. It just goes with everything. It's like just like plain cotton fabric, or like, it's just normal. It's like, something. It's just base material. We don't particularly exalt Libra for being anything special, but it gets along with everyone and it's good with everything, and it's just like neutral, right? But this is not neutral at all. This Saturn-Pluto conjunction is as intense as can be. So that's really interesting, right? It's Saturn-Pluto in Libra. So Saturn is exalted in Libra. And then Pluto is like incredible. Pluto is the opposite of Libra. And this is the Pluto and Libra generation, which is does not get nearly enough credit. And like I said, I'm going to make a video about Gen X, because Gen X is a highly underrated generation that has a lot more to offer than anyone will. It's not one of the narcissistic placements of Pluto. Let's put it that way. Pluto in Leo and Pluto in Scorpio are far more narcissistic. That's why they're all, that's why they're fighting each other and ignoring Gen X, or the, Gen X, which also includes Pluto in Virgo. I guess 65, when Pluto and Uranus were in Virgo, that's still the Gen X generation. So Gen X is pretty powerful. Anyway, this Pluto-Saturn conjunction is no joke. It's just serious and intense as can be. And I think that's why she had this really strong presence on stage, because the Saturn's exalted, and then you have the Pluto, which is just driving it deeper, driving that Saturn deeper. And then Pluto and Saturn are challenging each other to become like hardworking and responsible and authoritarian and serious and deep and intense and authentic, right? And that's not Libra. That's why it's a really nice combination. You have this airy, fairy, fluffy Libra, and then you got Pluto and Saturn together. And they're just gonna, so like as a dancer, as a performer, as her physicality, like it was just so intense. Like she could do it because she just took it so seriously. And I did not read this. I'm just looking at her chart. I just know that based on this exalted Saturn conjunct Pluto in the first house in Libra, she was taking everything extremely seriously, and she was so responsible and so hardworking about it. Because I've seen this conjunction before, and I've seen what it can do to people. It's a very, very serious conjunction. Pluto and Saturn. It's one of the most intense conjunctions we can have. I mean, when we had it in Capricorn, which is a far heavier placement, right after that, we have the coronavirus, which we're still dealing with. Like Saturn and Pluto together is no joke. It's like, Satan meets Hades. I don't know, like Satan, Saturn, Pluto, Hades, something like that. It's something like so intense, ridiculous, right? And then Saturn and Pluto, not only that, they're square her ascendant lord. Like Pluto is exactly square her ascendant lord, Venus, which is conjunct the South Node in Capricorn. Saturn is square Venus, and Venus is the ruler, the dispositor of Capricorn. So, and Saturn can represent the father, very much so. It can represent an authority in general, an older authority, but easily the father. So, and Venus here is representing her because it's her ascendant lord, right? So when this heavy, intense conjunction is squaring her ascendant lord Venus, that's the whole problem that she's dealing with this overlord, with her father, like controlling her. That's the square aspect. That's very ugly and very disturbing. And, nobody likes it. But that's the problem. I mean, we like it when she's on, not me personally, like I'm saying, but like the world, like she's one. Let me just put just in case you don't know, she's like one of the best selling artists of all time. I think as like a teenager, she broke so many records for like, albums sold, hits, whatever. Like it's just her list of accolades and awards is just like, too long to read, basically. Like I just stopped reading it. I was like, she's just like phenomenal, success. Why? I mean, I guess this. I mean, this exalted Saturn and Pluto is like her, her one of the things that made her great, but it's also one of the things that's an extreme challenge for her. I believe she did win her freedom back, and hopefully she can get off the meds, because I don't think I'm certain they're not going to help her. I'm certain. I know that, because pills do not resolve mental health issues. That's not how they work. If they're going to keep you from killing yourself for a short period, that's fine. But short of that, we don't resolve our trauma from pills. Like the whole paradigm is wrong. It's wrong. I don't need to be a psychologist to understand, or a psychiatrist to understand, that we don't resolve we don't do the shadow work by popping pills. And in fact, that disturbs the process. It messes it up and it compounds it. And I lost 2 friends because of it. I know that deep within my soul that that's the wrong way. And I've studied health my whole life too, but that's besides the point. Interestingly enough, that the Saturn Pluto conjunction is square the nodes, which makes it even more intense, right? And South Node is conjunct her ascendant lord in Capricorn. This is actually an interesting combination. This is also fame giving, because it's her ascendant lord and it's Venus. So Venus rules creativity, right? And South Node is what we come into this world. So like she was like in the Mickey Mouse Club with Justin Timberlake and Christina Aguilera. She was performing since she was a little kid, and this is in the 4th house. And Capricorn is all about success, right? So early childhood success, material success. South Node conjunct Venus, ascendant lord, that shows early childhood success with creativity. Venus is also ruling 8th house too. So that's difficult, 8th house, because that's ups and downs. And this also points to, together with this square, her troubles, her mental emotional troubles. It's not mental illness per se. I mean, it's not something that she can't overcome, but it is troubles, like, her shaving her head and acting out and doing all whatever. Like, that's expected. I mean, that's for this chart, for somebody like her, sure. But there are better ways to deal with it than popping pills. Like try meditation, try, some shadow work, try some, actual healing. Pills do not heal you. It's just absurdity, the absurdity of modern medicine, thinking, oh, all I need to do is pop a pill and I'm going to be better. I don't need to do any work. I don't need to heal my trauma. I don't need to confront my own darkness. None of that. We're just going to pop a goddamn pill and pay money every freaking month. Like, goddamn idiots. I'm sorry, it's evil. It's evil. It's outright evil. And we need to call it out for that. This is not health, and it has nothing at all to do with health. It destroys the mind. It destroys people's lives. People die from this horrid fantasy that if you have mental health issues, all you need to do is pop a pill. No, you need to heal your trauma. That's what you need to do. I don't take pills. I had trauma. I had a lot of trauma. I was prescribed. I did see a psychiatrist, and they would try to push pills on me. I was like, no, I'm not going to take your freaking pills. Not stupid. I just have trauma and I need to do the work, and I did the work, and I'm still doing the work, and it's an ongoing process. Anyway, she needs to do the work, not pop pills. And so anyway, Okay, she's got her south node conjunct Venus in the fourth house, and it's square these. And so we're seeing, I mean, this is a lot, a lot of her fame is right here, south node conjunct Venus. And then square, the square is good and bad because it is connecting it to its dispositor Saturn, right? Because Venus is in Capricorn. Venus is not good in Capricorn, right? But it is connecting to the dispositor, and that is good. And the dispositor is good in Libra because it's Saturn exalted in Libra, but then it's conjunct Pluto. So this is it's difficult. It's fame giving, obviously, but it's very difficult for her. Like Britney Spears does not have it easy, even though she's highly successful. And I'm not one of these people who just thinks if you have a lot of money that you're automatically, like, you have no right to complain, you have no right to, claim that you suffer. I mean, no, nonsense. I mean, yeah, she might be rich, she might be famous, but she could still be in a lot of pain and have a lot of issues and a lot of suffering and have horrible relationships, obviously, with her father and other people, people trying to control her. Pluto is domination. Pluto is domination. Pluto's subjugation. It destroys Libra's peace, by the way. I mean, Pluto in Libra is not peaceful. And that's one of the best things about Pluto and Libra, because it's not a fake peace. We don't get a fake peace when Pluto's in Libra. We go for the real thing. It's like a real quest for peace. And we're going to war for peace, for a greater sense of peace and justice. So there's a lot of fight in her, and a lot of disturbing of the peace. And Saturn just makes it all that much more intense. Right, Saturn is going to make sure that Saturn and Pluto in Libra is really going to fight for peace. It's really going to fight for justice and balance, and that's an interesting combination for sure. Jupiter's in Scorpio, and that's difficult as well, but it is the third lord in the second house, so that's good for singing. And she was a singer, and I mean, was she a great singer? I don't think she was a great singer, but she was a unique singer. I've had the opportunity to watch people try and impersonate her, and it's not easy to impersonate her because of the way she sings, and it's very unique to her. But Jupiter is in basically conjunct the second house cusp in Scorpio, and that's good for singing, good for wealth. Second and third house combinations are good, but Jupiter in Scorpio is not great. Her enthusiasm, her faith is going to take a hit, because Jupiter is her faith in life, it's her philosophy, it's her religion, and it's going to be up and down. And she has had her ups and downs with Jupiterian things, religion, philosophy, faith in life. She could study psychology and occult stuff, because Scorpio, obviously. But I think she did study Kabbalah, and then she stopped, and then she was Catholic, and who knows, and then she was not religious. I don't know. But that's Jupiter and Scorpio. It's going to be up and down, and it's going to make her really question her faith in life, and she could be more attracted to the occult things like I am. And she has Chiron in the 8th too. It's in Taurus, so this might have to do with, but Chiron's not negatively aspected here, so it's not going to have as much negativity to it. And Chiron in the 8th, I don't know. I mean, it's not negatively aspected, so it's probably not doing all that much. Issues with shared resources. I mean, Taurus is more physical, less occult oriented, so shared resources, pain issues, and she had that, right? The whole conservatorship with her father has to deal with shared resources. I mean, he was controlling her life basically, and I don't know the details, but that's definitely shared. But let's see, Mars is in the 12th, and this would be good for dancing, because again, the 12th house deals with dancing. It's disposited by Virgo in the third. So again, third house also, because hands, you dance with your feet and your hands together. Mars is ruling the 7th and the 2nd. So that's a loss of money, actually, right? Because the second lord is going into the 12th. 12th house deals with loss. 7th house, partnership, foreign. I don't know much about her relationships, but she could be with somebody foreign, and have deal with foreign lands. And this might give her overseas success as well, because 7th house deals with others, the masses, and 12th house is foreign lands. But yeah, this is it's it's good and bad. I mean, it's good for dance, obviously, good for creativity. Not so good for her finances and her wealth. So wealth is going to be up and down for her. And yeah, and 12th lord is conjunct the sun. So I wonder if that's again relating to her father. Mercury conjunct the sun, ruling the 12th house. Anyway, that's neither here nor there, I guess. Yeah, this Saturn Pluto conjunct the nodes, I already talked about that, but that's really interesting because square the nodes, whatever square the nodes, you have to go through before you get to the north node. So it indicates some sort of events in the middle, at some point in one's life, that is destined. And so we're talking about first house, we're talking about exalted Saturn, talking about Libra. So all of this is very much destined, so to speak, and about her, gaining fame. And then north node's in the 10th house. So again, career success, but as she gets older. So I don't think we're going to see the last of Britney Spears, because north node in the 10th house becomes obsessed with recognition and career, worldly success, career, disposited by the moon in the 5th house. So she's going to want to keep performing and singing and being Britney Spears. Definitely, she's not done yet. South node conjunct Venus, especially in Capricorn. She might have South node. One of the things about South node is that it has a spiritual quality to it, especially as you get older. And it being her ascendant lord, she's going to change a lot. I think this will have a spiritual effect on her, make her much deeper and more philosophical. She might be more interested in occult stuff. And 12th house is also spirituality, valuing that in Virgo. So I mean, I just see her changing a lot, but she's still going to want to be in the public limelight and gain recognition. She's still going to want to perform, I believe, but her whole persona is going to deepen a lot, especially with the Venus in Capricorn, because Capricorn is a very mature sign, is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn's ultimate quality is not only career and material success and hard work and all that. Ultimately, Saturn promotes spirituality, and so does Pluto. So after, as she matures and she becomes her own person more and can step out of this control, from authority, once the person matures themselves, Saturn does not have that overpowering, controlling grasp on the person. That's when they can become an authority, a leader, a teacher, and hopefully inclining more towards the spiritual, because it's spirituality is actually, in fact, an aspect of maturity. It's real maturity, right? So Saturn has that quality. That's really on the upper end of Saturn. That's one of the higher aspects of Saturn. And we see that a lot in Aquarius. Aquarius has actually a strong spirituality in its higher expression. So that's what I see from Britney Spears as she grows up and matures, and she's just a little bit younger than me, but we'll see it more coming out in the next years, so many years, who knows how long, but she'll definitely mature a lot and grow up and become a respectable, more mature person, for sure. That's about it. Let's see. Okay, so Venus is out of bounds, and all her planets are direct except Chiron. She's got nothing stationary, so that Venus is out of bounds. I mean, that's her ascendant lord, and it's conjunct the South Node. It's in Capricorn, but yeah, I mean, that's interesting. It's just she's going to extremes, which is interesting. Is Libra does not like extremes. Like Libra likes balance, but Pluto likes extremes. Pluto does not like balance, so she's going to extremes. Anyway, that's Britney Spears. So I wish her the best, and I hope she keeps transforming with Pluto. Well, with Pluto in the ascendant in the first house, she will have to keep transforming and changing who she is. So anyway, that's it for now, guys. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share if you enjoy this content. If you want to book a reading, go to my website, macroastrology.com, and I will see you guys soon. Thank you. Bye.